So here's the deal. If you did not see my video, the Psychic Notes video leading up into this energy forecast, it's a really good idea that you go watch that, because I'm going to be saying things here that refer back to that. It was too much to try and do all of that information in this one as well. I broke them up into two. So if you're here watching this energy forecast, make sure you go see the Psychic Notes video for Friday, March the 14th, 2025. That said, we have quite a bit to talk about the energies coming up for this coming week. And like, to me, it truly feels like, oh my God, this year more than ever could not be more the Ides of March, coming off of a full moon eclipse. Like right now we are fully in another eclipse season, which, remember everybody, that is like a big reset button, click, click. So we are in very powerful energies every way you cut it, with quantum light, astrology, the dynamics on the planet. We are really living through the thick of some really amazing energy dynamics and consciousness that goes with that. And so forecasting, consciousness forecasting, is such an important thing to have in your life, so you can track what's going on, so you know how to navigate the landscape that we are all living through right now. So that said, let me turn the camera around here and let's go ahead and get started for next week. So let's go ahead and get our bearings here. We are right here, Friday, March the 14th, 2025. Coming off that like crazy full moon lunar eclipse that happened last night, as Mercury is going into its retrograde. So really powerful energies. And this weekend, as we head into a North Node conjuncting a Sun. So this is where we are right now. This is what we did earlier this week. We talked about that in last week's forecast. Pretty powerful. This was last week. Some timeline jumps, energy gateways back here, and then here. This is what we are headed into this week. Very, very interesting. They actually want me to go ahead and begin here with the Somatic Money Oracle deck cards. And if you're new here, this is my Somatic Money Oracle deck 2nd edition, and this is my Somatic Money Oracle deck 1st edition. This is a little bit less expensive on my website. If you want to go check it out, there's a story there. And then the write-up on what this is all about, a little bit more expensive here. This is the most complete, polished, up-to-date deck that there is. I've got about 10 of these left. And then when they're gone, I'm going to go ahead and reorder, but it's going to be new and complete. What Spirit Team wants you to know, as we are looking at these cards right here, they are wanting you to begin to consider that not only are you in a new light timeline, you are in a new light money timeline. And the place that you're going to want to begin this week is making sure, no matter what, when you are working with your money, that you are doing your presence practice. Are you present in your body with your money? This goes back to a blueprint that I've got, Somatic Money Blueprint number 2. It is on my blueprints page. You can purchase this program for $24.99. 24-page PDF. It's got 2 audios. It talks perfectly about what this is, and you are going to be wanting to do some process like this, because if you are not, this is where you begin to land into these 2 pitfalls. Now, pitfall number 1 is that if you are not practicing some sort of presence practice with a higher vibration with your money, it is going to be very easy to fall into financial gaps where it doesn't feel like your money is working, and then you feel like you fall into some sort of financial imposter syndrome. And so you staying present with your money in a higher vibration at your transaction points, you're going to find that money is going to begin to work better in that IQ to EQ money scale, and you won't be fighting so much with an imposter syndrome. Now, and it's more about using your presence practice so you can begin to land more into the new light field technology of the new system, which is being present, being conscious, being in tune, being in balance, so that you can begin to find solutions that you wouldn't normally find, so that you truly can have your money work in a way that does defy all odds and all reasons, so you don't fall into that imposter syndrome place. Coming off the cards with the initial share, let's go ahead and begin with this week from the Friday, Saturday point. So right now I am recording this on Friday, March the 14th, 2025, coming off that really powerful full moon lunar eclipse as Mercury is going into retrograde. We kind of have a setup this weekend, a little bit like last weekend. Not a whole lot going on astrologically. We've kind of had our butts kicked this week. My suggestion to you is like, it's going to be another great weekend to kind of like take a time out, regroup, get yourself together, do some resting, put some things in order. Like there's a little bit of a breather room is the feeling that I've got going on. And next week here, it is another big week, but in a completely different way. This is why I want you to watch the video that is just prior to this, because it'll give you a little bit of a primer here. As you look at this week, I want you to see this week through the eyes of how Spirit Team had me see this week. So as I was putting this calendar together last night into today, Spirit Team kept saying to me, Dana, you're not seeing it. There's something there. There's something there. Keep looking, keep looking. And I was looking at it physically, like I was looking at the logistics of it. And then I was like, oh, I need to like go into it and like feel and look at the energy soup on it. And when I went into this map, when I went into this calendar, I got hit. It was like lightning and thunder, got hit lightning and thunder with a sheer amount of light energy. So you know how I said in the last video, like I drove into Yakima and I saw all this light and I was like, oh my God, no, not only is it like the darkest dark going on, we have like the most amazing, greatest quantum light going on that we have access to now. This week right here, folks, I believe we have access to some of the most sheer, powerful, amazing, incredible quantum light field energy that we now have access to consciously manifest with. And Spirit Team was both saying to me, next week, be highly careful about consciousness manifestations. Those thoughts, those emotions are going to turn into manifestations on steroids. So you need to be very careful about how you're manifesting. But at the same time, I'm also going to say, if you feel like you're powerless, if you feel like things are falling apart, if you feel like it's really hard to keep things together, I want you to be very, very aware of the incredible amount of light that we are walking around in now. And when we walk around in that quantum light, we have access to some of our most powerful ability to manifest and turn things around on a dime. Like literally, like do things like, and this is why the cards are really present, do things like get really present in your body so that you can get really present with your manifestation ability. And don't fall into that place of like, oh my God, the goals aren't working. And oh my God, I've got imposter syndrome. It's not working. See, pitfall here, pitfall here. You want to get as present as you can in this so that you don't really fall into these two places and you can land more into your emotional intelligence, your embodied emotional intelligence, and your embodied logic. I have found things work best when you've got some logic going on and you've got your emotional intelligence going on and you've got that integrated through your body as your presence. You're walking around the pitfalls. You're not falling into these pitfalls, and you are beginning to do some of your very conscious manifestation. Have you noticed how much faster and more powerful we are now at manifesting? Like thoughts happening, emotions happening, getting present with it, just being really present with a manifestation, and like boom, it's fallen into place. Like that's happening. So even as we're seeing these horrible headlines and really bad stuff, and oh my God, it's scary, at the same time, we are having our power handed to us in a way we've never had before. And so do not let anyone, and especially headlines, hoodwink you into thinking you are powerless. That is not true. You are now beginning to be some of the most powerful people on the planet at this time, no matter who you are and where you live. And I think that's why Spirit Team, look at this. Spirit Team is saying, get present with your conscious manifestation ability. Do not fall into goals aren't working. Hey, maybe if things aren't lining up, they aren't lining up. Like no harm, no foul. Do not fall into imposter syndrome. Remind yourself, oh, here's the next thing I want to tell you all about. Remind yourself you are on the new timeline. So that was the next thing Spirit World wanted to have. They were telling me that they wanted me to let you know. And that is, and this has been going on all day, they kept saying, Dana, tell everybody they truly are walking in the new timelines. They're truly walking in the new timelines, and they're so powerful with this. And then I drove around in Yakima, and I saw all the light, and I was like, oh my God, we've got all these light fields and quantum light, and we've got the manifestation abilities, and Spirit Team is like, we really truly are walking in the new timeline. And the other thing that I will tell you is we are also walking in the new money timeline. So now that I'm bringing somatic money more to the forefront, I can talk about things like this and tell you one of the things that's going on the planet right now is we are switching over our vibrational frequency with money. And that vibrational frequency is very connected into the new money timelines. And so one of the things I can tell you is as you're doing all this manifestation stuff, with your finances, I want you to just begin to clock this idea of, I'm now working with my money in this new vibrational frequency with the new money timelines, and so that my money is always working and it's always lining up. And even if things are falling apart in one area, they're going to come together in another area. And I know this because I'm walking in the new timelines with the new quantum light energy, and I have amazing manifestation abilities. So, do you see the self-talk you need to be doing with yourself? And again, I'm going to say it again, do not let somebody in the headlines or somebody terrorizing us make you think or hoodwink you into thinking that you are powerless. It is effing not true. You are powerful. I am powerful. We are all powerful. Like we are and will continue to be more and more and more powerful as a humanity, a humanitarian effort with these new quantum light lines on the planet to be able to manifest in brand new ways. And I want you playing with it. I want you looking at it. I want you asking about it, talking with your spirit team, and I want you playing with it, because as certain people try and strong arm us in some ways, I want you to turn around and go, right? I'm not going to buy into that, and start doing your manifestation of the things that you can do in your own life on your own ground. Remember, we're the ground crew. We're the pioneers. We're bringing this through. So from here, I do want to show you some of the other messages Spirit Team had that came through. There is a warning. There is a warning about be very careful about communicable diseases and viruses. The way the astrology is sitting, it's going to be, again, we're back into that territory of being very careful about how you are being in a public place. With viral loads being spread. There's notice being given about political fallout. It's time for things to begin to happen. I did get told that. I don't know what the thing to happen is, but I just got told there's more political fallout this week. It's time for things to begin to happen. And beware, extreme light fields creating high levels of manifestation ability that is in the realm of destructuring into restructuring. Then there was a strong nature. Do not wait for things to happen to begin living in the new timeline. So many of us were waiting for the other shoe to drop. Don't wait for the other shoe to drop. Start living. Be in the now. Be in the new timeline. Be living in the new timeline as things happen, so you have your new frame of reference and footing. With all that said, let's go ahead and take a look at this week astrologically, which is fairly interesting. The first thing we need to pay attention to, we've got 3 energy gateway days stacked up with 3 timeline days. You can see what the meaning is in the verbiage that I've got written. We reached the peak on this somewhere between Wednesday and Friday. There's a 100% level, and I did check. What I'm finding is we've got layers of timelines, and this timeline energy gateway stuff is happening in the upper layers, the scripting layers, where we're trying on new consciousness for size, both in the upper 5th and 4th. So it's not that heavy duty work that we've had to do in the 1st and 2nd foundational timelines. That was this winter. We're now in the 4th and 5th of this, but I feel like this right here is that cracking apart light that is coming through happens middle of the week. So we need to pay very close attention to this. And it may very well be connected in with solar and or Schumann's activity. We need to pay attention to that as well. This week is a little bit strange in that we've got all of these different seemingly little astrological alignments, and man, they add up into some big stuff. But let me show you the heavy hitters. The sun is moving into Aries this week. We've also got a sun conjunct Neptune. That's going on right before the movement into Aries. And then we've got a Chiron square Mars. There's some fireworks going on there. And sun conjuncting up with a retrograde Venus. Those are the primary highlights. I want to give a heads up. When I was looking at this stuff last night, I was like, holy cow, end of the month, right around the 29th, we've got a Mercury retrograding right alongside with that Venus retrograding, running right into Neptune, just about as it crosses over into Aries. This is a huge energy movement that happens at the end of the month that is, I think, is pretty darned important, and I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I haven't done it like this before, so let's just go ahead and start from the top and click through it. Sun moving into Aries, this is about your fire and your initiative and your leadership with self. That movement happens on Friday the 21st. Then we're getting some North Node in Pisces conjuncting Sun in Pisces, and this is about strong alignment between core self and soul's path. There's been a lot of focus about soul alignment, and here is another one, and that is happening right here, that Sunday into Monday movement. Then we've got a Sun in Pisces is conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, and this is a strong self-connection to intuition, creativity, empathy, and spirituality. There's that nod to soul's path. That's these 2 days right here. So we got a blip on the radar with it there, a blip on the radar with it there. Then we're doing this long one. This has been going on for a little while. Lilith in Libra quincunxing Neptune in Pisces, which is balancing those hidden passions with hidden and appearing intuition, creativity, empathy, spirituality. Again, I pick up, like, this is, to me, it's kind of like hidden passions. This is like girls gone wild coming to the surface. And, this continues to move through this entire week. Then we've got the biggie. Chiron in Aries is squaring Mars in Cancer. Frustration and conflict in expressing and asserting boundaries, and particularly communications within intimate relationships. So that might get a little bit spicy. That's going on at the end of next week. Then we've got a Venus retrograding in Aries while it sextiles Pluto Aquarius. This is about self-reflection, but being aware that you're not idealizing too much. And it's about rewriting rules and unveiling desires. So, God, this pairs up with that Girls Gone Wild and what's going on with Soul Path and creativity and spirituality. Like, to me, this week is just kind of like we're going to have huge quantum light flow coming through while we've got this whole bubbling pot going on with, Soul's Path and who we are and Girls Gone Wild and things appearing and reappearing. Like Sun in Aries is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius, and that's individual initiative with transformational power. Well, that's no slouch. Okay, so that's hitting the end of next week as Chiron is squaring up with Mars. A little bit of fireworks going off here. Then we've got a Venus retrograde in Aries sextiling Pluto at Aquarius, and this is about self-reflection, not idealizing things too much, rewriting rules and unveiling desires. That is hanging out right here, and I feel like it really vibes off of and connects with the Lilith quincunxing Neptune, Lilith quincunxing Sun. These are all playing off of one another. So folks, we're in the reset eclipse season. Spirit team is saying we've got all sorts of light that's going to literally crack us apart, crack through here. The astrology setup is just kind of like this bubbling pot. And then at the end of the week, we've got these zingers. I'm almost kind of at the edge of saying to you, like, I don't know, but be paying very close attention, because I believe this entire week, this has huge transformation and shift written all over it. And I think that's what I'm going to leave you with. So as I get done with all this, looking at what we just walked through, when I get to the back end of this, I think the thing I can tell you about next week is it's another powerful week next week. And we can look at next week with all those dark storm clouds that are sitting there. And that's true. That's definitely true. But that's not the full picture. That is not the whole picture. The whole picture is there's a whole quantum light field going on. There's this massive transformation happening. There's literally this crackling of light through the storm next week. And so no matter what happens, and I have a feeling like the next couple of weeks are kind of like the 0 point of all this whole thing anyway. No matter what happens, I want you to keep the eye on the prize. And the eye on the prize is standing your ground, being in your body, with your light field, holding all of that, even in the face of darkness. But this time you go in armed, knowing that you're able to manifest at an entirely new level we've never been able to manifest at. I mean, this is like manifestation on steroids. And because of that, we're not powerless, we are powerful. And this is what we carry with us into the new time, onto that new timeline, not only with who we are and what we're doing, but also vibrating through with the money, transforming the money, so all of our partnerships, agreements, and exchanges can work on the ground as we're doing all of this. And I think on the back end of this is like, no matter how much certain entities try to rob us of who we are and rob us of what is right and true for us at a humanitarian level, ultimately, they will not be able to succeed. And that is especially true because of who we are, that we're going to continue to carry on our lives at a whole new level and a whole new way in a resistance that they will not be able to get their hands on. That's the point. That's the point. And I truly believe we're going to live through the thick of the storm for the next couple of weeks. But I want you going into it armed with this knowledge, knowing that you can do this on your individual level in your individual life and make a difference for yourself and for the people around you. This is what we came for. This is what we're doing here. Don't let anyone rob you of that vision. Live your life. Let yourself take the light and the manifestation and the power and the empowerment and the empathy and the compassion, like all of the ability to create with this, and do it. Like, this is spirit world going, boop, here you go. What are you going to do with it? You are pretty powerful and amazing. Let's see what you can do. That's what's going on right now. So, okay, that's what I've got for you this week. Make it a good one. I will see you out there on the airwaves, and see you in the next freaking video, man. Yeah.